Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're continuing east on US Highway 98, also signed here as Harbor Boulevard and Emerald Coast Parkway, picking up at about mile 60.5 as we cross into the city of Destin in Okaloosa County, Florida. Destin is one of the best-known resort towns on the Emerald Coast, with a 2023 population of just over 14,000 residents and a median age in the low 40s, reflecting a mix of retirees, year-round workers, and seasonal hospitality staff who keep the tourism economy running. The city's median household income is around $89,000, and typical home values are in the mid-400,000s, making this a relatively affluent beach community compared with many other parts of Florida. Destin's origins go back to the 1850s when New England fisherman Leonard Destin established a small fishing village on this narrow peninsula between Choctawhatchee Bay and the Gulf of Mexico, and the town later grew around commercial and charter fishing before evolving into a major vacation destination built on high-rise condos, beach resorts, and shopping centers along this arterial strip. As we roll through this first stretch, US-98 functions as the main surface arterial for the city, with multiple signalized intersections that provide access to waterfront neighborhoods on both the bay side and Gulf sides, as well as side streets leading to marinas, harborfront attractions, and the popular Harbor Walk Village area back to the west. Continuing east, US-98 becomes Emerald Coast Parkway proper through the heart of Destin's commercial corridor, with the typical cross-section here being a multi-lane divided highway with a center median, continuous left turn lanes in some segments, and frequent driveway access to big box stores, restaurants, and resort properties on both sides of the roadway. Destin's modern growth took off in the late 20th century as vacation rentals and condominium towers replaced many of the older small cottages, and today the city is known as the world's luckiest fishing village, while also drawing visitors for its bright white quartz sand beaches and emerald-colored Gulf waters visible just south of the highway. Even though this is a beach town, US-98 here is a busy urban arterial, carrying year-round commuter traffic plus large seasonal surges of tourists headed to beach access points, resorts, and the harbor, which leads to heavy congestion at peak check-in times and on summer weekends. Traffic signals and closely spaced business entrances, combined with turning vehicles and pedestrian crossings, make this corridor feel more like an in-town commercial strip than a high-speed through route, so drivers use parallel local streets such as scenic Highway 98 closer to the shoreline when they want a slower, more scenic alternative. A little farther east on the right side of US-98 is the entrance to Henderson Beach State Park, a major public beach and natural dune preserve right off the highway at 17,000 Emerald Coast Parkway. The park protects over a mile of natural Gulf shoreline with high, white sand dunes and coastal scrub habitat, offering boardwalk-accessible beaches, picnic pavilions, nature trails, and a popular campground that gives visitors a chance to stay just off the highway, but in a much quieter setting than the main resort strip. Henderson Beach serves as a key counterpoint to the heavily built-up resort areas elsewhere in Destin, giving both locals and tourists a place to escape the crowds while still being only a short drive or walk from hotels and vacation rentals along US-98. From the driver's seat, this junction appears as a signed entrance on the south side of the highway with turn lanes and clear advanced signage, and traffic often backs up slightly at peak times as beachgoers turn into the park. As we continue east from the park, Emerald Coast Parkway remains a busy multi-lane arterial with a posted speed that must contend with both local access needs and heavy through traffic heading toward Walton County and points beyond. On the north side of the road, access drives lead toward bayfront residential areas, marina developments, and golf course communities that make use of Destin's limited interior land between the highway and Choctawhatchee Bay, while to the south, shorter streets end near beachfront condominium complexes and public access points along scenic Highway 98. This part of Destin functions as a spine for resort traffic where turn lanes and signalized intersections like those at Matthew Boulevard and other local streets handle large volumes of vehicles moving between accommodations, restaurants, and recreational facilities throughout the day. During peak tourist season, delays through this corridor can be significant, which is one reason alternative routes like State Road 293 and the Mid-Bay Bridge have become important relief valves for traffic coming in from the north. On the left side of the roadway, signage begins to appear for State Road 293, which for drivers is better known as the access route to the Mid-Bay Bridge and the Walter Francis Spence Parkway. SR 293 begins at US-98 here in Destin and heads north as Danny Werfel Way, quickly transitioning into a limited access approach to the 3.6-mile Mid-Bay Bridge over Choctawhatchee Bay. From this vantage point on US-98, the junction appears as a major signalized intersection with turn lanes guiding traffic toward the northbound bridge approach, and it's a key decision point for visitors deciding whether to continue along the beachfront on Emerald Coast Parkway or cross the bay inland. The Spence Parkway portion north of the bridge forms an 11-mile limited-access bypass around Niceville, with separate tolling that serves as both a hurricane evacuation route and a congestion relief corridor for traffic that would otherwise have to follow longer, slower local routes around the bay. East of the SR 293 intersection, Emerald Coast Parkway continues through the eastern side of Destin, with resort hotels, vacation homes, and mixed-use developments lining both sides of the route as the city narrows toward the Walton County line. Destin's growth in this area has been shaped by its geography, with the Gulf of Mexico to the south and Choctawhatchee Bay to the north. So nearly all development stretches in a ribbon along US-98 and the parallel scenic Highway 98 corridor, giving this stretch a continuous resort city feel even as individual properties and architectural styles change. Many of the residential complexes here cater to short-term rentals, and the traffic patterns reflect that, with heavy turnover on weekends and seasonal peaks corresponding to spring break and summer vacation periods. For drivers simply passing through, the number of traffic signals and turning movements can slow progress, but the benefit is easy access to services such as gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants without leaving the main corridor. We conclude this segment at about mile 67.6 on US 98 as Emerald Coast Parkway carries us through the eastern edge of Destin toward the boundary with Miramar Beach, where the highway continues as the main inland artery along Florida's Emerald Coast. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment below, share and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.